So, Namaskar everybody. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Thank you for joining to today's satsang. So, we will now start with our topic for today. So, today we are going to talk about the Govardhana Giri, who is also known as Giriraj, the king among the mountains. So, this story of Govardhana appears as one of the very prominent Krishna Leelas. And there is a lot that we can learn, although the story itself is very entertaining, but there is also a lot of subtle meanings. There are many subtle meanings that we can learn from and use to progress in our spiritual journey. So, as the story goes, the people of Vraja, the Vraja people, were planning as usual. Every year they used to perform a sacrifice, a special puja for Indra. So when all the preparations were going on, Krishna asks his father, Nanda Maharaj, who is the king of that area. So he asks his father that why are we doing all this preparation? What is going on? So his father says, every year we perform a sacrifice and we offer all the offerings to Indra, because Indra is the one by whose grace we get rains, and when the rains are plentiful and everything is, then only the crops can grow and our cows will have food to eat and all that. So every year we offer this puja to Indra Devata. So Krishna says, whatever we are doing, our actions, that karma what we are performing, as a result of that, as the fruit of that, we are getting the results, right? So there is it is the role of the Devata to provide that rain. So why should we do special puja for him when he is doing something which is part of his dharma? What is the need for offering a special puja? He questions. Now, there are some people who say, yeah, maybe what Krishna is saying is right. But some people are on the other side, like Nanda Maharaj. So then Krishna talks further and he says that actually all our needs are being met by this Govardhan Giri. Govardhana, this mountain, is the one who provides us with water. This Govardhana is standing tall, and because of its presence, the clouds, the rain, the water laden clouds all collect there and they start showering their rains. It is this Govardhana on whose surface so much lush grass is growing, and all our cows can graze there. By grazing on the meadows and fields which are there on Govardhana, our cows are having nutrition, and then they are able to give a lot of milk, which the calves get and we also get, and our land is abounding in all such prosperity. So we should actually be offering our rituals to Govardhana, not to Indra. That is what Krishna says. So many people now, when he praises Govardhana Giri, then they also say, yes, what Krishna is saying is right. So finally, it is decided that this year we are not going to perform yajna for Indra, but rather we will perform puja for Govardhana Giri. So everybody agreed, all the preparations went on, and then lot of prasad was prepared, what they call as bhog. Right? So much prasadam was prepared, and all the worship was done. It was all placed there at the foot of Govardhana hill. And Krishna said to everybody, okay, now all of you have to close your eyes. All these years you have done puja for Indra. Has Indra ever come and eaten whatever you were offering? No. But see, now Govardhana is going to eat it all. But at the time when offering is made, we should not see when the deity is eating something. So all of you close your eyes, he says. So when everybody has closed their eyes, Krishna himself takes on a very huge form and he consumes all that what has been offered. Then he comes back to his normal size and he says, open your eyes. See, all the bhog has been accepted by Govardhana, because then there is nothing. Whatever they had offered, there is nothing. So again he says, now you close your eyes. Again they close their eyes. So within a moment, again Krishna manifests all that. It is not as if physically he has eaten it, right? So he has accepted that offering which the Brajavasis gave with so much of love and reverence, and now he has returned it back to them as prasad. What they offered was an offering of food, but when it comes back from Krishna, it becomes prasad. So he says, see, this is now Govardhan has sanctified this. So now all of you can consume it. So that food is served to everybody and everything goes on well and all that. But while all these people are having a good time, on the other hand, what is happening? Indra is very angry. Why? Because he thinks all these years these people were worshipping me. It is because of my, grace that they are getting the rain and everything. And how dare they not offer worship to me? How dare they worship this Giriraj? What is this that they are doing? Let me teach them a lesson, he thinks. And because he is so angry, he summons the clouds which, pour the rain of destruction. And he says, go and pour non-stop over this entire Brajadhama. So the rain clouds are not very happy, but they have to listen to what Indra says. So they go there, and for so many days it starts raining heavily. There are thunderstorms. There's a strong wind that blows. Everything is blowing here and there, and the waters start rising everywhere, and the entire area is flooded. So all the Brajavasis, whom they will run to, they run to Krishna and say, Krishna, you please take care of us. See, this is what has happened. And then there were some people who were not in favor of worshipping Govardhan, right? So those people all say, yeah, see, this is why we told. Now Indra is angry. That is why he's sent this storm to, cause problem for us. So this is what happens. You should have listened to us and so on. So Krishna says, don't worry, I will take care of you all. And as if it is just a small, simple toy, as if it's just one small stone that he picks up from the ground, Krishna lifts up the entire Govardhan mountain on the little finger of his left hand. And he says, come, all of you, bring all your cows, bring all your belongings, bring everything. Come and shelter under this mountain. Everybody rushes there to stand under the mountain. And once they stand there and they are in the Sanidhya of Krishna, for 7 days non-stop, everybody, it's pouring like anything. But everyone who is standing under the Govardhana Giri is protected. And then we know that Krishna's friends, the Gopas, they don't really believe that Krishna is God and all, So they say, okay, he's trying to do something, but maybe some powers are helping, but we will also help him. So all those Gopas, they have their lathi, that stick which they have. So they put up their stick also, and they say, we will also support Krishna's work. So we also will hold up the mountain. For 7 days, everybody stays together under the mountain. And they are so happy in the company of Krishna that it is said that nobody has any experience of any hunger or thirst or tiredness or fatigue, nothing. They are just constantly involved in the joy of being with Krishna. In fact, it is told in the Srimad Bhagavatam that always the Gopas used to be happy when the day came, because they would get to go with Krishna into the forests of Vrindavan, grazing the cows, playing with him, chatting with him, making, having fun, having a good time. So the Gopas were very happy when the sun would rise. And then when the sun was setting, the Gopas would be sad because now we are not going to have Krishna with us. But at the time when the moonrise happened, that was the time when the gopis would feel happy, because whole day they would have been in the village taking care of all their responsibilities. And when it was night time, then was the time when they would get to go and spend time with Krishna. So the gopis were happy when it was moonrise and sad when it was the sunrise. And the gopas would be happy when it was sunrise and sad when it was sunset. But during these 7 days, when they were sheltered against Govardhana, both the gopis and the gopas were constantly in a state of ananda. Why? Because now there was no restriction of time, there was no restriction of place. All the time they were constantly with Krishna. So imagine their joy and happiness and bliss that they had in his company. Now, when this happened, it is in fact told that when Krishna lifted the Govardhan mountain, many times, and all the pictures also, they show as if, Krishna is holding the base of the mountain, and it is, in that upright position only, it is standing on his finger. But actually, some of the acharyas comment that when he held it upside down. The summit of the mountain was on his finger and the base was on top. Why? so that then when he held it in this particular position, the trees, the leaves of the trees, the grass, everything would be available on this under surface so that the cows would not be deprived of their food. So such is the compassion of Krishna, that he can take care of everybody like this in this manner and give them so much joy in the process. So the minute all this happened, Indra saw that, oh, this boy is lifting, and suddenly he wakened. He thought, what have I done? I have been so proud of my ability, and I've been saying that it is because of my grace that the rain comes, and my grace that these people are prospering and they should worship me. But this Krishna, he is Narayana himself. So it is only by his grace that everything is happening. Otherwise, how is it possible that such a small boy will be able to lift a mountain on his finger and support everybody? So Indra realizes what is his mistake. His pride is shattered, and immediately he calls back those rain clouds. Now, once the rain has all subsided and the sun is out and bright and shining again, then everybody goes back to their places. Krishna says, now all of you can go back. So everybody goes back to their houses, everything, life resumes as usual. Indra comes there and he begs forgiveness from Krishna. And Krishna tells him that I only did this whole thing to humble your pride. You were proud that you are the one who is giving rain. You are the one who is giving everything to the people. Whereas being Antaryami within you also, it is I only who am doing everything. So that was the realization that Krishna wanted Indra to have. And out of compassion, that Indra too should understand what is the reality and not get carried away with his pride. That was the reason why this entire Leela was conducted. So there are many things that we can learn from this entire story of Govardhana Giri, from this Leela of the Lord. Firstly, the Brajvasis, they were in trouble, they ran to the Lord and he protected them. Even in what appeared to be an unsurmountable kind of a situation, even in some situation where it appeared like nobody can do anything at all to, save this situation. Even in such a situation, it was the Lord. He found some way of protecting his devotees from the fury of Indra. So when anybody is in trouble, it is always the Lord only who is going to protect. We think that we have contacts in this world. We think we have people to protect us. But all those people, all their abilities are limited. Instead, we must remember that it is Lord who is having unlimited powers. He is the Swami of this entire world. And if he takes it in his heart to take care of us, then there is nothing that can stop him from, taking care of us. In fact, I think in some previous satsang, I had mentioned that there is a very famous stotra by Sri Vedanta Deshikar called Kamashashtakam, in which he says that Tvai rakshati rakshakaihi kimanyaihi, Tvai cha rakshati rakshakaihi kimanyaihi. That Kamasikashtakam says that if you decide to do rakshane of somebody, if you decide that you are going to take care of somebody, then who can prevent that from happening? You will protect your devotee. But if you decide that you are not going to protect somebody, then also there is nobody in this entire world who can, protect that person. So the Lord is the one who is always there to take care of us. Then secondly, the meaning of the word Govardhana. Go, generally we say it refers to the cows, and Vardhana means to increase. But there is another meaning of the word go also. Go is also said to refer to the senses. So when we say that Go Vardhana, increase of the senses, does it mean that our sense desires will increase? No. It means that just as the Gopas and Gopis staying under Govardhana with Krishna, their love for Krishna went on increasing. Similarly, our senses will increasingly get turned towards the path of bhakti, towards devotion for Krishna. So that is another meaning of the word Govardhana. So if the word Govardhana itself means this, then by remembering Govardhana, by remembering the service of this great mountain, we can also hope to increase our bhakti for Krishna. That is why it is said this Govardhana is considered as the very form of the Lord himself. You remember I said that at that time when the puja was being offered, the Lord assumed a huge form and consumed everything. So at that moment, he made himself equal to Govardhana Giri. So it is very much believed that this Govardhana Giri is Sakshat, the form of the Lord himself. And in fact, that is why it is told that nobody is allowed to climb on that hill. Nobody should, touch that holy place with their foot, with their feet. So instead, there is a practice of performing pradakshina. It is called as Govardhana Parikrama, a circumambulation of the holy hill. That entire 23-kilometer route has been mapped out. There are people who do this parikrama. There are people who go and do it every year. There are people who go and do it every 2 years. There are some people who do the parikrama by walking on foot. People who can't, take that physical effort, who have some kind of ill health, they may hire a vehicle and go and do parikrama in the vehicle itself, sitting in an auto rickshaw or something like that. And then there are some people who have so much, bhakti that they perform Govardhana Parikrama by doing Sashtanga Namaskara. They don't walk. They will, stand in one place. I think you know what is Sashtanga Namaskara, that you fall completely flat with your hands, held out in front, you fall to the ground and you prostrate. That one prostration. Next, when the person next stands up, he will stand at the place where his hands had been, and there he will do the next namaskar. And then again from that point where his hands were, he will stand and do the next namaskar. Can you imagine the kind of effort, the kind of sadhana that goes into this? But that is the bhakti that people have for Govardhana Parikrama. And it is believed that having done this parikrama, bhakti increases in the person. So let us hope and pray that Lord gives us also an opportunity to someday visit and do this parikrama of Govardhana Giri. Then, as Krishna had explained to all the Brajavasis, that performing one's prescribed karma is more important than just doing rituals to gain benefits. It is important for us to understand this point a little more, in detail. So this doesn't mean that we must not do rituals, or we must not do puja, or we must not perform worship. We must definitely do that. But doing one's karma, doing one's duties is very important. And whatever we do, rituals, we should do it for the love of Lord. We should do it out of love for God. We should do out of Bhagavad Preeti, not with the attitude that I want to gain some benefits out of it, or I want some material pleasures out of it, or I want to enjoy, I want to have a good life to enjoy this life. Not like that. Whatever rituals I do, let me do those as an offering to the Lord. And then, as Krishna told, he is the Antaryami. Whether there is a Devata, whether it is Indra, it is Varuna, it is Kubera, whoever it may be, they are all demigods. They are all the Devatas. It is the Lord who is there within them also, and through them, he is only doing everything. So, if we want to worship, then worshipping the Lord, worshipping Krishna himself, is definitely the recommended procedure rather than worshipping the individual devatas, because it is the Lord who is Antaryami within all of them, and he is getting the things done through them. So we must not run behind worshipping the devatas so as to, get some material benefits, or say that, okay, I want wealth, I will worship Kubera. I want something else. I'm a farmer. I want good rain. I want everything. I will worship Indra and Varuna. Not like that. Let us worship the Lord himself with the idea that whatever I do is ultimately reaching him only. So why not worship him directly instead of running after the small, devatas? And you remember I said about how the when the Lord lifted the Govardhan Giri, then all the Gopas, they also put up their sticks. I think even in that picture, if we see, you can see there are places where these sticks are hanging up, right? So those sticks are put up by the Gopas. Now, what did they say? They said that we want to do our part. We want to help the Lord. Is it that the Lord required their help? Definitely not. The Lord does not need anybody's help to do anything. He is what you say, Sarva Shaktiman. He is going to do everything himself. But should we think then that we are doing something? No. But as our seva, we should try to do whatever little bit we can to participate in the Lord's work. So, what is the Lord's work? When does the Lord take avatara? What is the purpose of his avatars? It is, we know that shloka in the Bhagavad Gita, which says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavam yuge yuge. So, to protect the sadhus, to destroy the evildoers, and to re-establish dharma. I am born again and again, the Lord has told. So, what is his mission? Establishing dharma. We may not be great enough to understand who is the sadhu and protect him. We don't have any power also. We don't have the ability to kill the dushkritas, right? To kill the dushtas. But definitely, whatever is dharma, to whatever extent we know, first we must follow that dharma. And then we must try and explain that to people around us. Try to get people engaged in spiritual practice. Try to teach them about namasmarane. Try to teach them about doing constant bhajan. Encourage people around us to live a life which is on the guidelines of dharma. So that would be our small participation in the Lord's mission. Just as we say that during in the Ramayana, when the bridge was being built, we all know the story of that little squirrel. The squirrel couldn't carry big stones, but what it did, it went and rubbed its body in the mud, in the sand, and it went onto where the bridge was being built and brushed all that sand to fill the gaps in between. Is it that the squirrel's work was required for the bridge to be done? No, but it was the squirrel's attitude, right? And that is why till today we say, Alilu Seve. With that spirit of the Alilu, with that spirit of the squirrel, we must try and do our bit to what is the Lord's mission on this earth. And there is also this thing, why this Giriraj, actually he's called Haridasavarya, as we will see in the next shloka. He's called as the foremost among the devotees of the Lord. He's called as the most superior bhakta, the dasa of the Lord. Now, in fact, there is a story which connects this Govardhana Giri to what happened in Ramavatara. At the time when that bridge was being built and they wanted stones, they were collecting stones from here, there, everywhere. Now, Hanuman, it is said, went in search of some very big stones so that, the work of building the bridge can be completed faster. If you have bigger stones, they will cover a larger space, isn't it? So, in his search, he happened to come to Vrindavan, and there he saw this Giriraj and he said, Yes, I want this. So, Giriraj also was very happy. He said, Yes, I'm going to come with you, take me. And he raised himself. Giriraj Govardhan raised himself to come along with Hanuman. But at that very moment, there was a sound, one Akashvani, which said that there is no need for Govardhan to come there. The bridge is already completed. So Govardhan was very sad and upset that he had missed an opportunity for doing seva to the Lord. So with that, sadness only, he stayed where he was. And then it is said that at the time when Rama, Sita, and everybody were coming back by the Pushpaka Vimana, at that time, Hanuman pointed out Govardhan Giri and said that this Giri wanted to come and be a part of the Setu that you built, but we came to know that it was already completed. So he is very upset that he could not be a part of your work. So at that time, Lord Rama, it is said, told very lovingly to Giriraj that, yes, you may have missed the opportunity in this avatara, but don't worry, when I come in the next avatara, at that time, I will be all the time with you and you will have the opportunity to serve me with all your belongings. So what are those belongings that Govardhana has, and how did he serve, and why is he considered, the best devotee? There is this shloka which says, Hantaya Madri Rabala Haridasa Varyo Yadrama Krishna Charana Sparsha Pramodaha Manam Tanoti Sahago Ganayostayoryat Paniya Suyavasa Kandara Kandamulai. So what it says is that this appears in the Srimad Bhagavatam in the 10th canto. All the devotees of the Lord, the Govardhana is called Haridasa Varya. He is the best among the devotees. He is the best among the dasas of Hari. Why is that? Because he provides Krishna and Balrama, all the cows, all the gopas, all the calves, everybody goes into the forests which are on Govardhana hill. And what does he give them? Water for drinking. He has so many waterfalls, there are so many streams of water. He has soft grass, green, lush, fertile grass which is growing there, which the cows and calves can graze on. There are so many caves there where they can take shelter from the rain, where they can play their games. There are so many trees which bear flowers to for the Lord to adorn himself. There are so many trees which are providing fruits for fulfilling their when they feel hungry. The Lord, the Gopas, Krishna, Balrama, everybody can consume those fruits, those flowers. There are moolies there, there are roots, vegetables there. So in all possible ways, this Govardhana Giri is serving the Lord. Whatever he is offering to the Lord. And that is the greatness of this Giri, that he is so blessed that he can have the lotus feet of Krishna and Balrama touching him at all times. It is also told that how great must be the punya of this Giri, that the Lord's hands, which hold that brilliant and radiant Sudarshana Chakra, they purified Govardhana by holding it in his hand. The Lord purified Govardhana, and that was the blessing that Govardhana Giri got for his desire to do seva. So, in fact, here this is a board, I found it online somewhere, that it explains, it is in Hindi, it says that this mountain, what you can see, that is itself, this Giriraj is himself God Krishna. And Lord Krishna worshipped this Giri. And that is why you are today, it is such an holy land, and you are doing Pradakshina, Parikrama of this place. Don't think of this mountain as just a mountain, or don't say it is an ordinary hill, and don't insult it in any way. In fact, it is told that people are also not allowed to step on that hill. They have to take that special path for parikrama, and devotees are also requested not to remove anything which is growing on that hill, or to pick up a stone or anything. They must not in any way desecrate that place. So that is the greatness of this Giriraj. So let us pray that we also will be blessed with that kind of a bhakti, with that kind of an ability to offer whatever we have to the Lord. So next is the time for a bhajan. Usha, are you ready?
Akka, you're able to hear me?
Yeah, ma, we can hear. Please go ahead.
गोविन्द गोपाल गोपिका वल्लभ गोवर्धनो धारका गोवर्धनो धारका गोविन्द गोपाल गोपिका वल्लभ गोवर्धनो धारका गोवर्धनो धारका नारायण अच्युता नारायण अच्युत नरमृगरूप श्रीपति शौरे हरे वारिजोद्भव वन्द्य वन्दित चरिता वारिजोद्भव वन्द्य वन्दित चरिता पुरमर्धना मित्र परमा पवित्र गोविन्द गोपाल गोपिका वल्लभ गोवर्धनो धारका गोवर्धनो धारका गरुडतुरगमना गरुडतुरगमना कल्याण गुणागणा निरुपमलावण्य निर्मल शरेण्य निरुपमलावण्य निर्मल शरेण्य परममुनिवरेण्य भक्तिलोककारुण्य गोविन्द गोपाल गोपिका वल्लभ गोवर्धनो धारका गोवर्धनो धारका इन शशिलोचना इन शशिलोचना इन्दुनिभानना इन शशिलोचना इन्दुनिभानना विनुतकुण्डलनाथना विनुतकुण्डलनाथना कनकमया वासना घनपापनाशना विनुतकुण्डलनाथ वेणुनाथ हयवदन गोविन्द गोपाल गोपिकावल्लभ गोवर्धनोद्धारका गोवर्धनोद्धारका. Thank you.
Thank you, Usha. Very sweet bhajan, very nicely sung also, with so much bhava. Thank you very much. So let us hope and pray that Govardhana, just as the Lord lifted Govardhana and protected the people of Braja, let us hope and pray that He will take care of us also. The Lord is always there to protect us, but we have to ask Him for that protection. He is Antaryami sitting within us, waiting for the day when we will turn towards Him and say, "You are all that I need." We are instead lost in the outside world, running behind this and that, and neglecting the Lord. So let us remember that He is there to take care of us. We must remember Him at all times, definitely. But at least if we can't do that very sincerely, let us mechanically make an effort. Let us fix a number of times in a day when we will remember Him. Let us say that every morning when I wake up, every night before I go to sleep, every 2 hours in the middle of the day, whenever I start any important work, I will remember Him. And at the end of all my day's activities, I will again thank Him for having been with me. And if that we can cultivate as a habit, then that will help us to go ahead on our journey of sadhana. So, hoping and praying that God will bless us, because always, as all the acharyas say, how much ever we may try and want to do sadhana or want to get closer to the Lord, nothing can happen without His grace. He has to open His Kripa Kataksha and look at us. And all we can do is keep praying that that Kripa Kataksha should always be on us, that His grace should always be showered on us. So let us pray that that will happen for all of us, so that we continue on this journey of life with awareness that God is always with me. So let us now offer Kritagnyata. Let us offer gratitude and Kritagnyata at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna and Guru, and thank them for inspiring us to start and join this satsang. Let us pray for their blessings and grace to always be on us and all those who are near to us, our loved ones. Let them also be blessed by the Lord. So, is there anything that anybody else wants to add or share? We have about 2 minutes time.
Ma'am, good evening, ma'am. Thanks so much for the wonderful session, ma'am.
Yeah, Ranjini, very nice. Tell me, Ranjini. Good to have you.
Ma'am, I listened to whatever you had dealt with in the last couple of sessions. Thanks to you, because you send the recording, so I make sure that even if I'm not able to attend the class due to work pressure, I'll make sure that I listen to you. Thanks to you for the same, ma'am, because you ensure that we don't miss even because of any constraints if you're not able to log in.
True. We have to thank the technology that God has made available to us.
Yes, ma'am. But the thing is, you make sure that we listen to it, and I was even touched by the fact that once I think previous class, you are not able to make the recording, so you redid the entire session only to ensure that the people who have missed out on your session get to listen to it at later point of time. I was really moved because you take so much of effort. It's all the time better in case if you are live when you are taking the session, but unfortunately because of any constraints, if you are not able to make it, At least you
Yeah.
make sure that we don't miss the session. Thanks to you for the same, man. I
Thanks
think
to the
I feel
Guru for inspiring that thought in my head. And I
that
only
means a
pray
lot,
that
man.
we can continue, like this only. Because
Thanks a lot, man.
it's very rare that we have people who join and continue to continue. So that is happening by the God's grace. Some 7, 8 of us are regularly here every time. So let us pray that the Lord will bless us. Thank you so much, Ranjini.
Thanks so
Thank you
much, man.
everybody,
Thank you a lot, man.
Dharmaji, Chudamani Mami, everybody for attending the
Ansuya ji,
satsang. Yeah,
no, I was just wanted to make a request that these sessions we are enjoying a lot,
yeah.
but why don't you start on Gita?
I'm not so knowledgeable, frankly speaking.
But we are not even, I mean, not at all. So whatever you teach or whatever you tell will also be some addition to us. That's the whole
Let
thing.
me think over, Zarnaji. Let me pray and ask my Lord. And if He says yes, go ahead, we will go ahead, definitely. I will
Yes,
consider.
whenever.
I will keep it in mind. I will think it over and I will ask for divine inspiration and we will decide.